like you to be off like, if you could be off.
One moment.
Hey, Miss Addie.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Y'all ready for magic camp?
Yes, I am. I just figured out my trick, and I'm going to practice it a little bit before we go. So.
What are you doing for your trick?
It's mentalism.
Okay.
And when we went to it was a magic conference. There was a trick that I wanted to get, but I just decided to make it instead. And so that's what I did. And it's very cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, I switched up a little bit. I know originally I was gonna have you all look at like the images everyone sent in.
Yeah.
But from looking at all that, I feel like everybody has a pretty solid handle on it. And I just like, I met with some college professors today, and so I redid some of the rubrics and like how we're gonna try some different grading and reflective processes. So I'm gonna go over all of that today. So you'll want to pop back in and watch this when you get a chance. All of the documents and everything are uploaded on the site for this week, so you can see them there. But I'm going to explain them just to make sure everyone actually understands what they're supposed to do with them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I'm excited about this week's assignment because I like picking out the music for the pieces of art.
Mm-hmm.
So the one piece I couldn't decide which one to do, so I just picked two. I hope that's all right. Because
you are always more than welcome to do more than I asked you to do.
They're both by the same band, but they both seem to really suit the piece.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to listen to the music that people pick. I think it should be interesting.
Will we be able to hear other people's choices?
If I can, I will. If I can, I'll upload it right onto the site. If I can't upload it, I'll put an image of the work, and I'll put the title and like the band beside it, so you can see. Did you see this week people's everybody's concentrations are up?
Yes.
On the site.
Those are very fun to look at.
Yeah, so you finally get to see it all coming together.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I've been thinking about my first breadth piece, which I'm planning to do tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So, in the thumbnails I sent you, there was one of Madison, and he was the puppeteer.
I'm gonna go open that email right now.
I think it was like I'm opening it as well.
Let's see. Was it in the 6 to 12 email or the 1 to 5 email? Do you know?
Let me see. I think it was it's 6 to 12.
Okay.
And it's the first one. It's number 10. And it's Madison with the puppets hanging in front of him.
Yeah, it has like blue and red and yellow.
Well, it's kind of like purple, and it's not him standing. It's him behind the puppets.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch my screen so you see what I'm looking at. I feel like that'll be less confusing. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
All right, is this one?
No, it's over.
This one?
No, it's on the next slide. So it's after that. It's the one that your mouse is on.
This one?
Yes.
This one?
Yes, that one.
Okay, so tell me more about it.
So that's my friend Madison.
Okay.
And he is a puppeteer, and he runs Crips Puppets. And wait, let me find the picture that I get from. So this is his. Wait, how do you do screen share? Wait, that's it? Is that it? No.
There should be like a green box with a white arrow.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you.
Okay.
Let's see. Wait, screenshot, start screen share. Select a window to show in the call. Now, okay, can you see it?
No, I see you.
Let's see.
Click the one that says like entire screen, I think.
Screen share. Chris Puppets, got it. Start screen share.
There we go.
Okay, got it? So that's Madison, and I like cropped it so you got like him in the corner.
Uh-huh.
And so that I have much more detail if I actually did it for my breadth, but does that seem like something that could be like maybe work?
Yeah, and so some of that is what I'm going to be...
Wait, this one he's holding the ice cream.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing, and so what you'll see when you listen to the recording and when you go on the website, I made this, like, hopefully not confusing chart that kind of matches the elements and the principles up.
Yes.
So you're going to use it as kind of like this checklist that you go through. So that you can actually have like this visual record as you work on each breadth piece to really see that you're filling up more than the same boxes all the time. Because the main thing for the breadth is, like I said before, it's pretty wide open in your subject matter or materials or how you go about it. The main thing is that you're continuing to work with the elements and principles of art, and you're showing new approaches to them, or you're showing new approaches to subject matter and things like that. So,
so you can kind of be, your first one can be very whatever you want, and then you have to kind of work around that and try different things.
Yeah, for the most part. And so what we'll be doing, like some of the assignments that I give you are going to automatically kind of push you in different directions. So sometimes you'll have like a specific assignment that you're going to do that's going to push you to do something that you probably wouldn't normally do. And then as well as you're going to be doing things that you find interesting and you want to just go ahead and try. And what you're going to want to do, even as you're kind of planning it out, is I recommend that you take the chart that I created and actually, I like having things in front of me off the computer, that you actually print it out. And so when you're kind of looking at your sketch or looking at your plan, going into that chart and looking at what elements am I using, what principles am I using. And for the first one, like you said, it is kind of easy because you're starting in this big blank chart. And that moving forward, the goal of the chart is just to keep on looking at and noticing, you know, are you always using the same element and the same principle, but what you want to be doing is filling in a variety of boxes within the chart. So yeah, the first one is kind of really wide open because it's your first one, and you have to start somewhere. So yeah, go for it.
I will be taking a painting class this
cool.
Friday night. Well, yeah, it's Friday night and then Saturday. And I'll probably try to complete something that will be breath-worthy.
That's an awesome idea.
And then there's another, and then I'm taking 2 more printmaking workshops with Eddie Spaghetti, he does
I love
him. Yes. So that's... Though I think those are in February, maybe.
Okay.
But maybe one in February, one in March. So I'm going to try to complete like a piece in each of those classes. Hopefully.
Yeah, so. those are great ideas. So the piece that you're thinking about making, what kind of technique were you thinking about using to make it?
The one with Madison and the puppets. I would probably do like watercolor and pen and ink, like the ones that we looked at with the buildings. So I really think that would come over well in a portrait.
Yeah, I agree. I think that could be really fun, and even do some, especially with the little puppets, some like really play with gesture drawing and mark making to help make the puppets look like they're moving or kind of bring them to life since they're hanging from the strings. Yeah.
These puppets are really obscure, so it could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of room to kind of play around with those and what you want to have them do.
Yes.
Very cool.
Marvelous.
Out of your case.
I got a very we went to the library and then I just came in and hopped on the call. But I got a very cool book called Sketch Your World: Essential Techniques for Drawing on Location, and it has some very nice ideas in it.
Cool.
They're drawings from all different artists where they actually it was drawing on location, as they say.
Okay.
Your drawing type things. So I'm gonna try to do some stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun. So the painting class that you're taking, do you know what you're learning in the painting class?
Well, I think that there's going to be some color techniques on Friday night, and then there's it's at our art center that my parents run. So it will then on Saturday we will probably just be painting kind of our own thing, and then the instructor will come around and look and give critique and stuff like that.
Cool, that should be fun. Are you still thinking about doing some photos?
Yes, I am. Dad has a big camera, and we just got it out the other day, and he had to make.
Camera? What do you mean?
It's a big film camera.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but we got it out yesterday, and it's very cool because we have a tractor sitting right there that our farmers left here ages ago because it doesn't work and it broke down, and it's been here for as long as I can remember. And we took it with really old film because we're just testing it out, the film processing canisters that he made. So that was very fun, and we got to focus the camera and everything like that. But it's like a very heavy, large camera, and I normally shoot with a Seagull, which is a twin lens, and not as big or cumbersome a camera. So
so did you get to see the pictures yet, or are you waiting for? Oh, you did.
They're negatives right now. We haven't printed them, but we might not because the film was so old and we're not sure how it would turn out.
Oh, gotcha. Did you get to look at the Brett portfolio I put up last week? That was photos.
I looked at a lot. Yes.
Okay.
I definitely.
Hey.
We're just hanging out chatting for a little bit while everybody shows up. Oh, I need to plug my computer in too.
Patty, is that too noisy with the fiddle?
Sometimes old film, though, looks kind of, sometimes it prints cool. Sometimes it doesn't, but. All right, back and recharged. Are you feeling better, Natalia?
Yeah, my whole family pretty much got bronchitis. So.
Ooh, rough time. I think I just saw you just emailed me two more things, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent you the link to my Pinterest breadth page and then some of my ideas from the generation chart.
Okay, awesome. So I will update that grade for you tonight then. Addie, your background fiddle noise is fine. We can hear it, but it's not.
Well, our window's open because we were watching a movie last night. I can close it if you'd like.
Like your window to outside is open?
No, this is an addition we built on our house, so we have a window right here. So I can close it if it's just so that it doesn't disturb the call. I'll be back.
I was going to say it's a little bit cold to have your window outside open. Hi, Kaylee. We'll give it a couple more minutes to see if the boys show up. I know a couple of them were sick. Everyone's getting taken out. I'm hopefully trying to avoid it. what we're gonna do today, I changed my mind. We were gonna look at some of the examples that you guys sent in for the elements and principles and design issues. But from what people were sending in, yep, you're good, Addie. It looks like everybody had a pretty good handle on it. And today, I was meeting with some college professors and other art teachers, and I went on a rampage and redid a whole bunch of rubrics and made new things up. My hope is that it's going to be kind of more helpful feedback-wise and things as we go through the breadth. Because some of this, the rubrics that we have been using, I always use with my students that I teach in person, but obviously online isn't exactly the same. So I decided to do some tweaking and switch things up a little bit for the breadth section, which hopefully will be helpful. And then I was telling Addie I made up some charts that I want to explain to you to make sure you all get how they work. And it's to kind of help you chart what you've actually done in each piece so that you can really, really easily right in front of you see if you are bringing in breadth and a wide range of approaches to your work. And you can just really see that as you go from one piece to the next, so you don't get like 5 pieces in and then all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, I just did like the same thing over and over again, because that can be sort of easy to do. So I'm going to go over those with you just so that I'm here to answer questions. Not that I won't answer questions later, obviously, if you're confused when you're using them, but just to make sure that everything makes sense to you. And then I'll just, this week, still kind of casual, hang out, answer any questions. And then next week, because you are going to be diving in and actually making pieces this week, so moving forward, every week we're going to be looking at the work that you did and talking about it, which is always the fun part anyway. So I'm excited to start getting lovely works of art from all of you again. So what I'm going to do, if the boys jump on, they'll just have to catch up. I'm going to switch my screen so that you're not looking at me, but you're actually looking at the screen. And I'm going right, I'm going to start on this week's assignment page just so you see where everything is that I'm talking about. And share. And let me switch over, wrong thing. Okay, what am I trying to get up here? I have so many things open. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so what I have up right now is, this is actually the week 19 page. I'm going to show you where the forms are on here, so they're obviously on week 19. I'm also going to put them under the resource page for you so that you can access them whenever you need to. And I put up, so I think I have up everyone that has completed their concentration. Put those up so that you guys can see what everyone has been doing. All right, so under here, this is kind of submission instructions, and so these are where there are some new forms that I'm going to explain to you. So, and I tweaked them slightly differently whether you're working on the drawing portfolio or the 2D portfolio, so you're going to want to make sure to pick the one that is you. So this is the 2D one, and I do explain it in directions, but I want to make sure you're all with me. So what I did down this one side these are the elements of art. And then across the top are the principles. And what you're going to do, I mean, I think it's easiest if you just kind of print this out and hang it somewhere, but you are welcome to deal with it however you want to deal with it. So for each piece that you work on, what you're going to do is you're going to look at that piece and check off where you fall. So the elements of art are always feeding into creating principles. So if you look at your piece and you're like, I really dealt with the idea of showing space, and through showing space, I created balance. So then you're just going to put like number 1 because that's a breadth piece. And then maybe you really, really worked on emphasizing texture. So you're going to look at texture, and maybe you use texture to create rhythm. So here you would put number 1 again. So the goal of this is really just so that you have this really visual way to track that you are touching on a wide range of approaches, so that you can make sure you're not on every single piece just focusing on texture, or if you are really focusing on texture, because like I said, you could choose, maybe you just absolutely love working with texture. You could choose to work with that a lot, but what you want to see is, are you showing texture to sometimes create rhythm, sometimes create proportions, sometimes deal with color? Does that make sense to everybody so far?
Yeah. Me, yeah.
All right. Hold on, I'm getting so I can see my chat box too. All right, good. Okay, so I'm going to pop up the drawing one really quickly, which it's the same type of concept but a little bit different. So the drawing one, there are some things that I wrote, which I'm not going to read to you all now, that you're just going to make some notes for yourself because yours is a little bit different. So up along the top, these are the drawing issues that the College Board is asking you to focus on. And then there's a box for all 12 of your pieces. So yours is going to be a little bit different, where what you're going to do is for piece number 1, you're going to make a note under what things did you focus on. So did you really focus on light and shade? Maybe all of them you're somehow dealing with composition. So for composition, you might kind of note, I tried to make a circular composition. I tried to arrange my things in a triangular format, and we'll talk more about that. But this is the same type of idea, so that you can really easily see, am I bringing in a broad range of approaches for each piece, or am I doing the same thing over and over and over again? So I think that's going to be a good way to kind of track that and be able to visually see it for everything that you're working on. Then I'm going to, so like I said, I redid the rubrics, which are a little bit different from the College Board ones, but we're going to give them a try. So, and again, there's a different rubric for the 2D, and there's a different rubric for the breadth, which actually I already have them open. I don't know why I'm opening it again. Okay. So what you're going to see, a couple of changes. So the last rubric was on a 5-point scale. This rubric is on a 4-point scale. There's no like giant difference. These are just going to be out of 20 instead of 25. So up top, it's telling you overall what these numbers break down to. These are submission instructions for you. And what you're going to be doing, so right here where you see self, you're grading yourself, and teacher, I'm grading you. So before you hand it in, you're really taking the time to look in each one of these categories and score yourself from a 0 to a 4. And underneath, I've given you bullet points as to what all this is talking about. Then at the very bottom, I did a spot for total score as well as total revised score. So if you decide to revise a piece, I have directions that you're going to send the revised piece in, but you're going to include the old rubric with it, because it's a little bit easier for me to grade a revised piece if I can see what like previous comments were and all of those things. So this would be your revised score. And then these are some reflection questions. So you're going to spend a little bit more time reflecting on your work. As I say here, you get to skip this question as a freebie for the first piece because it doesn't really make any sense for the first piece. So the question is, identify one way that this piece demonstrates, whoops, I just typed this so it hasn't been totally edited yet, demonstrates breadth from your last piece. So that's why it's a freebie, because you don't have a last piece. So meaning what I'm saying is, tell me what is one new thing that you tried, uncovered, or learned. In this piece, that is different from the one that you did before? The second question, moving forward, what is one new thing that you wish to discover? So this is like maybe you were working on it and you got this idea, or you saw an artist, or it came from an assignment we practiced. So what is that one thing that you want to discover, and what tools or resources do you need to answer your question? So this could be, you know, I want to learn more about printmaking, and I know nothing about printmaking, so I need to learn all kinds of things. So this is one, to help your mind kind of keep coming up with ideas to move forward. But two, it's also to kind of help me help you. So if I see here what you're saying, I need help on this, then I can easily program that into lessons for the next week. And then the last question, and the questions are the same for both 2D and drawing. Identify at least one area, idea, that shouldn't be there either. This is what happens when I type right before we come on. Identify at least one area or idea that you really want me to give you feedback about. So obviously I'm going to give you feedback on your overall piece, but I want to make sure if there's one specific thing about your work that maybe you're really struggling with or you're not sure about, that's something that I really hone in on. So, and this is going to be the same for both portfolios. What you're going to do, you're going to be able to download this, and if you have problems downloading it, please let me know. But I uploaded it as a Word document, or you can copy and paste it into things. But what I'm going to have you try to do is, and this is what I do with all of your pieces. So I've opened the document, then I'm going to go into Insert, Image, choose an image. I'm just going to click on this because it's here. So that the image that you're turning in is right on this piece. You're going to go in and say, I should get a 3, 4, whatever you think you should get, and then you're going to send this document to me. And then I will grade you. I'm going to pop back to you and make sure that makes sense before we jump on to the drawing one. So is this so far making sense to everybody? We have a yes, thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to pop back over and just show you the drawing rubric, which is similar, but there are some slight tweaks to that. The other thing is this is going to, when you're sending it to me like this, this helps me know you're saying this piece is done. I want you to officially grade it. If you at any point just want feedback from me, so you're more welcome to at any time during the week. If you have a piece you're working on and you're stuck, you don't need to fill out that whole rubric. You don't need to fill anything out. Just shoot me an email with an image of the work like, help, I'm stuck on whatever, and I will hopefully get you unstuck. But so for pieces that you just want some like quick feedback on, it's not finished, you don't need to go through that whole process. So let me flip my screen again, and we're going to look at the drawing one. Okay. So the drawing one is the exact same format. And I need to edit some of these things too, because like I said, I was making these this afternoon. But this part is all up to date. So the drawing part, this is talking more about some of the drawing issues. So it's slightly different than some of the things in the 2D design portfolio. This part is, and where it says approaches daily class works with enthusiasm, that's more just saying you're getting like all the weekly assignments done that you're supposed to be getting done, filling out your checklist, taking the time to really think about how can you evaluate your work. So it's really helpful for you to be able to look at your pieces and think what's working, what's not working. When you're submitting your work, I'm also asking, one, because you're going to have it anyway, but it also helps me since I have the barrier of the computer screen and I don't get to see it in person. If you tell me what materials are in the piece and tell me the size of the piece, especially pieces that are kind of like mixed media and things like that, sometimes it helps me to understand them better when I have the materials written in front of me as opposed to kind of making guesses. And then the work is complete and on time. The rest of this is pretty much the same as the other one. Okay. So that's how we're kind of going to go about turning in your breadth work, assessing your breadth work, and keeping track of all of it. You should have already seen, because it was up, I believe, last week, I've created due dates for all of your breadth pieces, so you're going to be turning in breadth pieces, all of you, at the same time. So for those of you that popped on a little bit after we started chatting, what we'll be doing from this point forward on the weekly calls is actually looking at each other's work and doing critiques of each other's work, which is also, I think, going to be really helpful when it comes to the breadth, because you can get ideas and inspiration for materials or subject matter, ideas from what your classmates are going to be doing. So I think that that'll be a lot of fun to start to do. So you do have to make sure, I know we're all in different time zones and things like that. You got to get work to me by Sunday night. I do the grading sometime on Monday. I had off today, so it was much earlier this morning. And then just like I did last week and like I did this week, I'm going to continue to, if I don't get it out on Monday, I'll get it out on Tuesday. But my goal is always to get it done on Monday. Send you that really quick little screenshot of, here's an update of grades. One, I want to do that so it's easy for you to keep track of things, as well as it's a really quick check-in. So I know after the one I sent out today, a couple of you were like, oh, you know what, I'm really sorry, I didn't realize I needed to hand this in, or I didn't realize I needed to hand that in. That way we can get that fixed and taken care of before we get too far down the road, because this half is going to go really, really fast. And I want to avoid as much stress as possible. The other thing that I will be doing, probably not next week, but after that, every once in a while, I'm going to try and give it a lighter workload week and say this is a great time for you to go back and revise a concentration piece if you want to. So I'm going to also try and kind of build that in for you once in a while. Again, that doesn't mean if you have the urge at another time to rework a concentration piece that you can't. As well, if you have a concentration piece that you're thinking that you want to rework, but you don't know what to do, please feel free to send that my way, ask me questions so that I can help you out with all of that. So those were, I wanted to make sure you kind of saw those new documents, and like I said, they're up under week 19, and then I'm also going to upload them onto the resource page on the site so that you can grab them whenever you want to. And if you have any issues with them, like downloading or something like that, let me know and I can try and send it to you in a different format, since we'll be using that a lot. If it's going crazy, let me know. And especially, so we're all going to be using it, especially this first round. If you're working on filling it out and you're like, this doesn't really make sense to me, go ahead and make some notes as to like, I'm confused about this, so we can work through that and make sure that you know what you're doing. So any questions today? Like I said, again, is going to be pretty laid back, but I will hang out and answer any questions you have about the documents, what I just went over. If you have questions about this week's assignments, about grades, life, whatever, I will hang out here and answer. Jared and Parker, are you guys feeling better? Everyone's getting sick in class. Ah, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Never enjoyable to be sick. So I'm here if you want to chat, if you feel like you are good and know what you're doing. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm super excited to be getting artwork from you again, and I'm really fun. I don't know if you all looked at the assignments, but one of your assignments this week is you're picking some music to go with artwork. So I'm excited to see what music everyone sends my way.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I think it was listed like yesterday that we had to score a 4 on our breadth piece before you wanted us to move on. Do you still want us to do that since you revised the scoring?
Oh, got you. Brilliant question. That's a fabulous question. Let me think about that. No, I don't think you do. I would say on this rubric, so the one I just put up, if you get a 3 or 4, and mainly what I meant for that was if you send me work that you've done previously that you're hoping it counts as a breadth piece, we're going to want it to score at least a 3 or 4. I definitely, with each individual piece, if you do that, I will give you my very honest opinion of yes, you should definitely use this as a breadth piece, or like, no, I don't think this is the best choice. But that's an awesome question. So yeah, I would say probably a 3 or 4. So if you're looking at the rubric and are like, it's definitely not that high, it's also up to you, you know, like, so if you're sending in previous pieces and I send it back to you and say, you know what, this didn't score really well, I'm not gonna like put that in the grade book and be like, oh my gosh, you sent me this piece and that was a bad choice. We'll just kind of agree that either A, this piece isn't going to go into your breadth because it's not really going to help you, or B, if you reworked it a little bit, it could be stronger. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and then I have one other question. If I was to, because I'm kind of thinking of drawing a couple portraits, if I was to draw like someone from like a TV show I liked, was that okay?
Yes, that is okay. So with that, that's one of the things that it would sort of, I would approach it, because you're basically looking at a photograph of them. You're either looking at a photo or you're looking at them on TV. So what you want to think about when you're looking at that photo of them, how can you still bring some of yourself and your style into the piece? Or can you change the composition of the photo some? So how does it become a drawing of this person, but a drawing of this person by you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, so you can definitely do that, as well as if you start working on it and are like not sure if you've changed it enough, just send me your sketch and the photo that you're looking at, and I can help let you know if I feel like you've changed it enough or if you need to keep switching things up. That's a good question. And I think Jessica, you sent me, which I like glanced at, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time looking at. You sent me, I think, three potential breadth pieces today, and all of you can kind of just send them as you wish, and I will work on grading them and getting feedback back to you. And then you're going to want to, and it's going to be up to you. So saying that Jessica sent me 3 pieces today, and I respond to her and say, yep, all of these work, go ahead and put them in your breadth, then it's going to be your choice when you're looking over all of the due dates, as when you kind of want to count that as a breadth piece. So you might want to, and it's totally up to you, either if you know that you have some really busy times in your schedule coming up, you might want to hang off for that instead of being like, oh, I want this to count for piece number 1, 2, and 3. You can do that if you want. I personally would hang on to them so that if you have a week where you're like, oh, I'm kind of falling behind or I have a lot of other stuff, then you can be like, oh, you know what, Mrs. Kane, I'm giving you this piece that I already did, so it's sort of like a safety net that you have built in, but it's totally your choice how you want to use those pieces. Any other questions? Can you all hear my dog? She wants me to feed her dinner right now. I normally do that before I chat with you guys, and I forgot to do that today. You all good? Jessica says that's a great idea. Thanks for that. You are more than welcome, Jessica. All right, bye, Natalia. Looking forward to seeing your work. What'd you say, RJ?
Oh, thank you very much.
Sure.
For the chat.
When are you showing me the rest of your concentration?
Oh yeah, that should be in soon. I just like kind of the other idea didn't really fit for the whole storyline. It didn't really I found out that didn't really advance the story too much, so I came up with a new idea, and
Okay. The other thing that you can think about, so if you have some of those pieces that you started working on as concentration pieces but didn't totally finish, is think about, are there different things that you can do to those that might turn them into breadth pieces?
Okay.
You are welcome, Jared and Parker. Have a great week, and I'm looking forward to see what you send me.
Great, thank you. And just one last thing though, I sent the pieces, the pictures. I sent them yesterday evening, but for some reason they didn't send till this morning because it was like a large.
Okay. So I did just get those, but you're still like a week behind because those were from like a previous week. Those were from 17.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did you get the email with the grade update today?
I did.
Okay. So you want to pop back in. Most of those assignments aren't going to take you very long, and just bang them out.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great week.
You too. Bye. And Jessica, I will, probably not tonight, but sometime tomorrow, we'll give you feedback on the 3 pieces that you sent me, and we will go from there. Do you have any questions about anything? All right, you are more than welcome, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll chat next week. That's okay that your mic and your video is broken. It happens. Bye.